Mangalam Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So today is almost last day for our this first unit of Bhakti Shastri, Bhagavad Gita. So before we start with today's discussion, just a quick recollection from yesterday. Yesterday we discussed on the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita and one particular theme, verse number 40 onwards, and just now last two shlokas of Gita remaining today. So just quick recollection. So devotees can quickly unmute and speak or write in the chat. They can speak some recollection from yesterday, whatever discussion we had. Yes, bro. Voice is low. Voice is low. Is voice low, Prabhu? Very? Yes, Prabhu.
Little low provision.
Okay. Is it better now? Is it better or previous was better?
Better Prabhu.
This is better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu. So just quick recollection from yesterday's class. Devotees can quickly raise their hands and speak. Yes, Prabhu. Above Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yesterday we have discussed if one is yog bhrashta, what is his gati? After many years he get the मतलब लॉन्ग लॉन्ग मतलब फॉल डाउन होता है वो भी हम लोगों ने देखा उसमें कि उनकी गति क्या होती है तो
Okay. Thank you. So Yoga Brishta. So what is the destination for a Yoga Brishta person? Okay. Yes. Yes, Akshay Prabhu.
Uh, yes, Prabhuji. Also, we have seen Prabhuji like controlling our mind is it means like allowing Krishna to control our mind, and like this one also we see like जो suitable practice for controlling our mind is Navida Bhakti, and after that we saw that text and context. So
Next time contact. Okay. So basically, Navda Bhakti. We have to allow Krishna to control our mind. That's why Mana Mana Mandire. That, oh Krishna, please come. Please reside in the mind. So he says we have to allow Krishna to control our mind. And the best practice is to engage in the Navda Bhakti. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Any other devotees? Alkesh Prabhu is saying Krishna consciousness is the highest yoga perfection. Okay, okay. That is going to come today, I think. This discussion will come today, but yeah, a little bit might have come yesterday.
Yeah, also like we were seeing yesterday that two kinds of yogis. Like first one who has done little devotional service. So by the virtue of that, he will like we saw that like even by little devotional service, he will get a great benefit in terms of like he will go to heavenly planet first, and then after that, once he completes his span there, he will take birth in family of like good like aristocratic family or good riches. And then second, we saw that like the yogi who has done like he has done almost to the complete stage, but somehow at the last stage he falls down. So in that case, he will have same journey like to heaven, but after that he will take birth in a family of a brahmana or vaishnava.
Okay. So yeah, he may get even heaven or he may get even liberation. So different kinds of yoga prashta. Or as you mentioned, the one yogi who has done bhakti for a long, 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 long time, then he will get a suitable environment. Bharat Maharaj and all. So even Shaubari Muni also. Shaubari Muni he did for a long time, but somehow got distracted. So again he enjoyed material opulence also, and then again became devotee. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Any other points?
Prabhuji, we saw improper sadhana, or we are not endeavoring to do proper sadhana is the reason for fall down.
Yeah, the key reason for fall down is our yati. Yati means endeavor is very less. our यति जो है उसको गति नहीं है. यति को जब गति नहीं होती है, स्पीड नहीं होती है अच्छे से, तब जाके प्रॉब्लम आता है. सो यति नीड्स सम गति. थैंक यू. यस प्रभु. Any other devotees? Any other devotees would like to speak?
आप बताना, कोई पता नहीं मेरे को, तो मैं बता दूंगा ब्रो. Lack of intensity and endeavor lead to fall down. Anyone preparing for that will not waste a single moment in.
यस ऋषांक ब्रो, क्या हुआ?
Sorry, bro. Anyone preparing for that will not waste a single moment in no, nonsense activity, bro. You mentioned that thing.
Yeah.
Also, lack of intensity and endeavor will lead to fall down.
Yeah, correct, correct, correct. So lack of intensity. So Mahavishnu Maharaj's statement, Naresh was also saying that one wants to prepare for exam, then he will not waste his time. Yes, bro. In any kind of nonsensical activities. Yes, bro. Okay. So today we'll complete this this last section of our discussion. So basically, we are in the chapter number 6 of the Dhyan Yoga, and the chapter 6 has total around 5 themes. So first theme which speaks about is how to advance in Ashtanga yoga process. And the two kinds of yoga stage are given, Aruruksha stage and Arudha stage. So two kinds of stages are given. So how to go from Aruruksha stage to Arudha stage, that is being discussed here. Then what are the different stages of Ashtanga yoga practice? Like what is a sadhana in Ashtanga yoga? What is bhava bhakti? Like we have different stages in bhakti also. So in Ashtanga yoga practice also one goes through the different stages. So what all things they do for doing yoga, that was being mentioned, and how the necessity for controlling mind in any kind of yoga system, there is a great need to control the mind. And 33 verse number 33 through 36 we discussed. And then Arjuna expresses concern that whatever Ashtanga yoga you told to me, it really appears very impractical. And then that time Krishna gives the solution that you have to learn to control the mind by suitable practice and by detachment. Detachment means placing the mind in such an environment that it will not get opportunity to get distracted. And then Krishna gives a conclusion that for any kind of yoga, the mind control is the must. Any kind of yoga. So we have to allow mind to be disciplined by someone. We have to allow mind. If we just follow the dictations of the mind, then mind will become our guru. And that's why we need some guru in our life, whose instructions we are ready to listen above our mind. So we have to keep someone above our mind, and that is intelligence or guru, that is above our mind. So we have to allow someone to be above our mind. Otherwise, our mind will make a fuss out of our life. And then we discussed about what is the destination of a successful yogi and unsuccessful yogi, because Arjuna got a question that the process which you have given is so difficult that very few people will pass in this kind of examination, like MPSC exam, IS exam, UPSC exams, or chartered accountant exam. Lakhs of people participate, and very few people, now also you see, lakhs of people appear for MPSC examination, and only 7,000 people are selected out of 5 lakhs. So naturally, I also used to get this question that what happens to those people, those who prepared so much for MPSC, so much for MPSC, and then they could not get selected, and now 4 5 years are wasted, and now they have to get admission in engineering again, or they have to teach some home tuitions. So really, it appears to be a failure. So similarly, in the path of spiritual life, if someone does a bhakti but again gets distracted, then is he at loss? That was a question. And then Krishna mentions about what is the destination of an unsuccessful yogi, that even an unsuccessful yogi gets so many benefits. So we should understand what beautiful examination is Krishna consciousness. The person who fails, he gets placed into Microsoft. So what will be the benefit for a person if someone becomes enemy of Krishna, like Putana, she gets the position of mother of Krishna. So if a person who fails in the yoga gets heavenly planets, he becomes Indra. The person who is enemy of Krishna gets a position of Putrana, like mother. So what will be the position of a devotee of Krishna, one who performs bhakti with a genuine attitude? So this is something very surprising about Bhakti Yoga. And the last section today, the last two shlokas of Gita, this chapter, are going to speak about how Bhakti Yogi is the topmost of all the yogis. Among all the yogis, Krishna is going to speak, clearly declare now. Ki among all kinds of yoga, I so much explained you about Karma Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtang Yoga. But among all the yogis, the best yogi is a person who is the best tapasvi, the best gnani, the best karmi. He said the yogi is Bhakti Yogi. So Bhakti Yogi is the best of all yogis. That is what being mentioned in the last these two shlokas of sixth chapter. Okay, we can recite the shloka. तपस्विभ्यो योगी ज्ञानभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिक कर्मिभ्यश्च अधिको योगी तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन. So tapas vibhya. So he said tapas. So those people who do tapasya, among all the people, those who do tapasya, adhika is yogi. Adhika is greater is a yogi. That is dhyana yogi or jnana yogi. Jnanibhya mata adhikaha. So he says, and so here there is uh, a yogi is greater than tapasvi. He is greater than the philosopher. He is greater than the karmi. So as Krishna is now telling clearly, yogi is the best person among all kinds of jnani, karmi. The yogi is the best person. And in the last shloka, Krishna will mention which kind of yogi is the best person. Yes, bro, read the translation.
Yeah. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, the ascetic, greater than the empiric, empiric and greater than the fruitative worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitative activities, it is called karma yoga. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called jnana yoga. And when it is predominantly in a devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yoga, as will be explained in the next verse. Lord has confirmed here in the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Asceticism,
Asceticism.
asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect, and fruitative work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga, and this is still more clearly explained in the next verse.
So, although if you see Krishna has not directly mentioned Bhakti Yoga here, Prabhupada is so bold. Prabhupada directly tells, "Oh, Bhakti Yoga is mentioned here." Like because Prabhupada doesn't want to leave any stone unturned and doesn't want to create doubts in the life of people. So, Prabhupada directly says, "What is the best of all, best form of yoga in this purport?" So I remember sometimes devotees do that way, right? Like once upon a time, a devotee was distributing book on the streets, and then what happened? One person came, and this villager came. He came with a list of all 15, 20 books. Some this kadambari, this book, that book, this book, and our book distributor devotee, he took the list and he said, yeah, this is there, this is there, this is there, and then he gave him Krishna book. And the whatever books he was mentioning, they were like unknown books only. Was some Marathi books here, there, some whatever he was telling. And he said, ये सारे बुक्स जो है ना इस कृष्णा बुक में सब कवर हो जाता है, ले लीजिए सारा का सारा। बेचारा वो विलेजर सिंपल था, लेके चला गया। एंड वो अब चीटिंग करना कैसा अलाउड है ऐसा? उसने उसको 10-15 बुक चाहिए थे, लेकिन इस डिवोटी ने चीट करके सब दे दिया उसको, एक कृष्णा बुक। Sometimes devotee do because the conclusion of all the books is Krishna book. So he gave like that. Yeah. So now in the last shloka, he will mention now what is the best form of yogi. So in this shloka it is said yogi is better than tapasvi. Now why yogi is better than tapasvi? Why yogi is better than jnani? And why yogi is better than karmi? Now this question sometimes may come. Why it is like that? So it is said among those people who are practicing karma, jnana, tapas, yoga, who is the best? So Krishna says, it is my opinion that the worshipper, that yogi is the best. Why? Because he is worshipper of Paramatma. So because your yogi, he worships Paramatma. He sees Paramatma. And karmi and jnani, they sometimes don't see Paramatma. They're just speculating. They are meditating on the Brahman. But Paramatma is better than Brahman. Paramatma is better than something. So the karmi sees Virat Rupa. Then what we say, Jnani sees the Brahman aspect of Lord. And the yogi sees the Paramatma aspect of Lord. So, but problem is, despite of this, some people they go into impersonal Brahman. Although they meditate on the Paramatma aspect of Lord, still they end up in the Brahma Jyoti. Many yogis do that way. So that's why Krishna, uh, what we said, this is the reason that Krishna is going to speak. What among yogis, which kind of yogi is better? So now there is one very beautiful understanding. It is said Nishkam Karma Yoga gives rise to Jnana. Nishkam Karma Yoga. Somebody performs Nishkama, matlab unattached activities. It leads to Jnana. And later Jnana leads to Ashtanga Yoga. And then Ashtanga Yoga is a cause of liberation. So it is said that's why Nishkam Karma Yoga, then comes is Jnana, and then comes is Ashtanga Yoga. So he said the final result of and this is the final result of a fallen yogi. So basically now here in the last shloka Krishna will mention among all kinds of yogis, which yogi is the best kind of yogi. So 47. योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनन्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः. योगिनाम, योगिनाम मीन्स सब प्रकार के योगियों में, सर्वेषाम among all kinds of yogi, madgatena. Madgatena means now Krishna is not telling Paramatma, Krishna is telling me means मैं, जो मुझ पे मेडिटेट करता है. मदगतेन अंतरात्मना, अंदर अपने मन के अंदर, अपने हार्ट के अंदर जो मेरा स्मरण करता है. एंड देन सिर्फ स्मरण नहीं करता, श्रद्धावान भजते यो माम, श्रद्धा पूर्वक, बहुत फेथ पूर्वक, भजते, भजते मीन्स सेवा. तो ऐसा कहा जाता है कि भजना, भजना ये केवल विष्णु या कृष्ण का किया जाता है. पूजा जो है वो देवताओं की होती है, देवताओं की पूजा होती है. और भजना, भजन करना, भजन का मतलब कृष्ण का भजन होता है. वो साईं बाबा भजन या इंदिरा गणेश का भजन ऐसा जनरली नहीं होता है. भजना का मतलब क्या होता है? भजना, भजना का मतलब ये होता है कि लविंग सर्विस करना. आरती, आरती का मतलब होता है गुणगान करना. भजन का मतलब जो है वो लविंग सर्विस, लविंग, इट्स अ लव, इट्स एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ लव. सो जनरली देवताओं का भजन नहीं होता है, देवताओं की आरती होती है. और भजन जो है वो भगवान का होता है, कृष्ण का. सो इट इज सेड अमंग भजते माम, सो एंड युक्त तमो मतः, such a yogi is considered the best of all yogis. Yes, bro. Translation.
King of all yogis, the world with great faith, who always abides with me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Yeah.
Purport. The word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root the verb bhaja, which is used when there is need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaja. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is specially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man, demigod, and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of the superpersonality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord in his own constitution. Failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam 11.5.3 confirms this as follows. Yaisham purusham sakshat atma prabhavam isham na bhajanti avajananti sthanad vishtata patanti adha. Anyone who does not render service and neglects duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse also the word bhajanti is used. Therefore, bhakti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to Ganesh or to any other common living entity. The word avajananti used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in the Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mam mudha. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to them. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajanti and the word worship. The culmination of all yoga practices lies in Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of Bhakti in Bhakti Yoga. Yoga actually beats Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are progressions towards the destination of Bhakti Yoga. From the beginning of Karma Yoga, the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma Yoga without rituals is the beginning of this path. When Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and enunciation, the stage is called Jnana Yoga. When Jnana Yoga increases in meditation on the super souls by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga Yoga. And when one surpasses the Ashtanga Yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna, it is called Bhakti Yoga, the culmination. Factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of no good fortune. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name. Karma yogi, Jnana yogi, or Dhyana yogi, Raji, Hatha yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti Yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga. Just as when we speak of Himalaya, we refer to the world's highest mountain, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga to become well situated according to the Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates attention on Krishna, who is called Shamasundar, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garlanded, illuminating all sides in his glorious luster, which is called the Brahma Jyoti. He incarnates in different forms such as Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he descends like a human being as the son of Mother Yashoda, and he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudev. He is the perfect child, husband, friend, and master, and he is full with all opulences and transcendental qualities. If one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest yogi. This stage of highest perfection in yoga is attained only by Bhakti Yoga, as is confirmed in all Vedic literature. यस्देवे पराभक्तिर्यथा देवे तथा गुरौ तस्यैते कथित हि अर्थ प्रकर्षन्ते महात्मनः. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Pitaswatar Upanishad 6.23. भक्तिरस्य भजनम तद इह मूत्रोपधि नैराश्ये मुस्मिन् मनः कल्पनम एतद एव नैष्कर्म्यम्. Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit, either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclinations, one should fully absorb the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of Naishkarma. Gopal Tapan Upanishad 1.15. These are some of the means for performance of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of the yoga system. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the sixth chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Dhyana Yoga.
Hare Bol, Jai Jai. So, this is a very vital shloka which we use even widely for preaching and lot of things to be applied in our personal life. So, bhajna. So, he said, like some big person comes, you don't show respect to him. ठीक है. It may not matter, it may matter or may not matter. But it is said somebody who does not worship Supreme Lord, he is condemned by Shastra. He is condemned by Shastras. So this word is, so he said this Bhajanti word is applicable mainly to Supreme Lord. So and Srila Prabhupada beautifully gives entire summary of all the 6 chapters also in this one purport only. That how when Karma Yoga increases, then automatically Jnana comes. Then along with Jnana Yoga, then it leads to Ashtanga Yoga. And then Ashtanga Yoga matures, it culminates into Bhakti Yoga. Like somebody, a student is able, suppose a 5-year-old child is there. 5-year-old child is able to solve the 10th standard calculations. Then we should understand he is a 10th pass. Because now you may say, Prabhu, how? But he has not undergone 1 second. Yeah, but he's already able to solve the 10th standard calculations, science, maths, everything. Then he's a 10th standard student. So Bhakti Yoga is the highest rung of yoga ladder. And if someone doesn't come to this stage of Bhakti Yoga, then one is known by different names. So he's a Hatha Yogi, he's a Jnana Yogi, he's a Dhyan Yogi, he's like that different Yogi, Nishkam Karma Yogi. So this all are different names are given. So, but if one is fortunate somehow to come to the stage of Bhakti Yoga, it is understood that he has surpassed all the stages of yoga, all the stages of yoga. Like Srila Prabhupada gives example of Mount Everest. Someone has climbed Mount Everest, that means it is the highest peak of mountain. It is to be understood that he has crossed all other peaks, the subsidiary peaks which come. So it is by great fortune that all of us have come to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga, and we are being guided by Guru. So now Lord is coming in the different avatars, Rama, Narasimha, Jai Jagannath, and different avatars. So now this all avatars are given only for one purpose. All avatars are coming that we meditate and we fix our mind upon Krishna. And fixing one's minds upon the Krishna is the best form of yoga. And all other yogas which doesn't involve fixing one minds on Krishna are the little lower forms of yoga. They are not the complete perfection. So now suppose, so Arjuna, better in this shloka, Arjun might have thought, oh, do you mean to say there is no one who is better than yogi? Then Krishna will say, no, it is not like that. There is someone who is better than yogi. So who is a better than yogi? And that better than yogi is a person muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma kotish api mahamune. Among the many sages, among millions of people who are yogis, and among millions of people who are perfect in knowledge, only one person becomes a devotee of Lord Krishna, and such devotees are very rare. So best of all yogis is a bhakta. So now, yesterday we were discussing about the concept of a fallen yogi. So, what is the exactly fallen yogi? So I remember once what happened? One person, once upon a time, what happened? One person was meditating on the Lord, and while meditating on the Lord, he was praying to Lord. Oh Lord, मुझे कुछ तो दे दो, मुझे दे दो, धनम दे दो, जन्म दे दो, सुंदरी दे दो, सब कुछ दे दो। भगवान को प्रे कर रहा था एक योगी, ऐसा बहुत योगी तपस्या कर रहा था। अचानक क्या हुआ पता है? अचानक उसके सिर के ऊपर स्टूल गिरा, पिजन का और बंदर का। बंदर गया, पिजन का स्टूल गिरा, फट। वो योगी रोने लगा, अरे भाई भगवान, तुझे मैंने धन मांगा था, तुमने मुझे क्या दिया? ये स्टूल दे दिया। तो स्टूल दे दिया। फिर उसके गुरु को जाके उसने बोला, अरे भाई गुरुदेव, देखो कैसे भगवान है। मैंने मैंने भगवान को क्या मांगा? मैंने भगवान को धन मांगा और उन्होंने मुझे स्टूल दे दिया। तो गुरु बोले, सही तो चीज दिया तुझे, बोले परफेक्ट चीज दिया, बोले एकदम। बोले क्या? पूजा लाभ प्रतिष्ठा शुक्र है रविष्ठा। ये तो अच्छा किया कि भगवान ने पिजन का स्टूल दिया, तुम जो शुक्र है, शुक का विष्ठा देना चाहिए था। हॉक का स्टूल गिरना चाहिए था तुम्हारे सिर के ऊपर। तो बोले शुक्र है रविष्ठा। तो बोले क्यों? तो बोले हाँ, ये सारी चीजें तुमने जो मांगी है, तुमको भगवान ने सही चीज दे दी है, विष्ठा दी है। तो बोले लेकिन धन कब देंगे? बोले धन ऑटोमेटिक आ जाएगा। तो एक तो ये नॉर्थ इंडिया में एक बहुत बड़ी कहावत है, पता है आपको? अरे थोड़ा सा बोलने के लिए आपको मतलब बुरा लगेगा। नॉर्थ इंडिया की कहावत है, पता है क्या? ऐसे घर पे जहाँ पे साधु संत लोग जाकर विष्टा करते हैं, वो व्यक्ति अमीर बन जाता है। आई डोंट नो वेदर यू अंडरस्टूड। ऐसा घर जहाँ पर साधु संत लोग जाके विष्टा करते हैं, तो वो घर अमीर बन जाता है। तो ये बात बहुत लोगों को पता है। इसलिए कई कई लोग क्या करते हैं पता है? साधु संत लोगों को घर में बुलाते हैं, बहुत भर भर के खाना खिलाते हैं, भर भर के खाना खिलाते हैं। इतना खाना खिलाते हैं कि व्यक्ति को लगे कि अरे चल भाई, थोड़ा तो वॉशरूम जाएगा ये व्यक्ति, और अगर वो मेरा वॉशरूम यूज करेगा साधु संत, तो व्यक्ति अमीर बन जाएगा। तो वैसे वाह गॉड, क्या फॉर्मूला है ना। बस लोगों को आके इतना पानी पिलाओ, इतना जूस पिलाओ, इतना कि वॉशरूम जाए, और जहाँ पे भी वो मूलमूत्र पास करेगा वो अमीर बन जाएगा। So this is the understanding in the North India, means many places like that. So why? Because for a sadhu, this is for a devotee or a pure devotee, all this wealth, opulences, it is like a vista only. It is like a vista. So if he passes vista, means it is natural. And then this yogi actually became rich. And actually it happens. The person becomes very rich. Very rich. But it is a cheating. He got cheated. He got cheated by only stool and urine only. He did not get the highest thing out of the devotee. So this is a fate of a fallen yogi. But among all the yogis, the best is a person who meditates upon the Lord. So all of us have fortunately come to this unknowingly or knowingly. Krishna has placed us in the most fortunate situation of being a devotee. So let's take this benefit of. So this thus ends the first 6 chapters of this Bhagavad Gita. So, what was the acronym for this 6th chapter? Who knows? Anyone remembers the acronym which was there for 6th chapter?
Step,
Uh-huh.
step.
Oh, that was the 5th chapter, Prabhu. Uh, 6th chapter was?
Easy.
Easy.
Easy, correct.
6th chapter is easy. So the first few shlokas they discuss about whether mind is enemy. You can make your mind, you can make a mind enemy, or you can make it a friend. E for enemy or friend, A for Ashtanga Yoga, the rungs of Ashtanga Yoga ladder. Then what is the destination of one person who is success or failure in the path of yoga? And then what is who is the best of all yogi? So these four topics the sixth chapter spoke about. So I just thought to give a quick overview of 15-20 minutes of all the whatever we have learned until now. So before that, any question is there, Prabhu? Any question regarding this discussion, whatever we had? Later we can take overview. Any question related to this or yesterday's class or any other discussion? Okay, as and when you get question, you can just type in the chat box, or you can whatever comes, you can just type there. Hmm?
Just one question, the last verse itself.
Yeah,
Like here in the purport, the first line it is mentioned like among all kinds of like yogis and empiricists and the studio workers. So yogis are the best. But like, is it the reason that yogis are best like because they have a connection with God? Or like because in the purport it is mentioned that fruity workers also they have a connection with God.
yeah.
So
As I
how it
mentioned to you, they are having there are three aspects of realization. One is Brahman, one is Paramatma, and one is Bhagavan. So if you see among all tapasvis, among karmis and jnanis, most of them they have realization of Brahman aspect of the Lord. And yogi, he gets an opportunity to go till Paramatma aspect of the Lord. Others generally they have a difficulty. They generally don't go beyond this. So he says that that's why the yogi is better because he at least reaches till the Paramatma. He sees Lord face to face in the heart. So that's why yogi is better. But still, many yogis they use Paramatma simply as a tool. They simply use Paramatma as a tool. They think that Paramatma is a tool. We can meditate on Paramatma and then go to Brahman. So he also feels that Brahman is the highest one only. Many yogis also have this. But the best of all yogis are devotee because he has a realization of Bhagwan aspect of the Lord. So all the shlokas where this word mam comes, mam, mama, mam anusmara, yuddhacha, they are actually Bhagwan realization only because there the meditation on the Supreme Lord is there, mam. So empiricist is a jnani, then karmi, this all have a aspect relation max to max till Brahman or lesser than Brahman only. But yogi has a realization of the Paramatma feature of the Lord. That's why yogi is the best.
okay, Prajit. And like this empiricist and the Gyan Yogi. So like what exactly is the difference
Same,
between
same,
them?
same.
Okay, okay. Like so in the translation it is saying that yogi is greater than the empiricist.
No,
So
empiricist is Jnani.
okay, that is Gyani.
Empiricist is
And
equal to
yogi.
Jnani. Yogi is Ashtang Yogi.
Okay,
Dhyan
okay.
Yogi.
Like,
Dhyan
understood.
Yogi. Hmm.
Thank you, Prajit. Very much.
Yes, bro. Okay. So we quickly get some review of our whatever discussion we had in the last how many months, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu. We started in which month? When this our
Not
course started?
remembering, Prabhu.
Which when?
Not remembering.
Okay,
No,
who remembers?
November project. Last
November,
November.
last November.
November, na? So November and then December. After Kartik Yatra we might have started. After Kartik Yatra, no, before Kartik Yatra we started, Prabhu.
No, after
18 December, Prabhuji.
18 December.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So how many months now?
5 months approx. More than 5 months.
5 months.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 months. In between we had holiday, any?
1 to when we were visited to Ujjain or somewhere.
No, not that
Only
way. I think 1-2 weeks holiday might be there, no? Before December
Kumbh, Kumbh. Acha.
camps time, yeah, camps. Something might be there. So around 5 months, 5 months, 6 chapters. Okay. Hare Krishna. So this is just quick. I don't know which screen, what screen you are able to see, Prabhu.
Vedabase.
Veda base, hare. now? क्या दिख रहा है
PPT.
प्रोजेक्ट? ओके Okay, bro. So this is just a little quick recap of in case you have Bhagavad Gita with you, and in case you feel, although you read so many things, you forgot कि प्रभु क्या है, क्या लिंक चल रहा है, क्या नहीं चल रहा है. So this is an opportunity for you that you can take your pen, pencil, mark the shlokas, and get some brief again idea about how the 6 chapters went, so that even if see one purpose of Bhakti Shastri is also it is not that ki you will understand everything within that Bhakti Shastri course only. Bhakti Shastri is mainly to give the thought process, the mainly how to study, what all things are coming up, and it is just to give a direction. But it is not an alternative. It is not a replacement for self-learning. At least in our Bhakti Shastri, one thing which I'm happy only about, I don't know, you may not be happy or happy, you could have done faster. The one thing which I am happy about is we have read all the purports of Prabhupada. So generally in Bhakti Shastri teaching, purports are not read. Many times only very important shlokas and something like that they are read. But at least I am at least feeling happy and satisfied that we have given justice to every purport and every shloka. We have read almost every shloka translation and purport. So it is not a replacement for your personal reading. So when you read now Bhagavad Gita, then this time you will be more geared and equipped of what is the flow going on, what is the thought process, and how the 6 chapters went. Earlier we read Bhagavad Gita, we are not aware only how things are coming up. Now at least we know. So today's overview is also meant for this purpose, just to get a glimpse. So Arjuna got a doubt. So he read the Gita. On reading Gita, he found a tree. And on that tree, and if one hears about this tree and puts a step on that tree, then the path of yoga becomes very easy and he crosses material world. What is this? What I wrote, Prabhu, here? Anyone knows?
Gita synopsis.
Acronyms of all 6 chapters.
Acronyms.
Yeah. अर्जुन को आया डाउट, उसने पढ़ा गीता. गीता में उसको एक ऊर्ध्व मूलम अधः शाकम ऐसे ट्री के बारे में पता चला, पाथ ऑफ योगा के बारे में पता चला. तो उसने कान लगाकर उस योगा के बारे में सुना, और वो सुनने के पश्चात उस झाड़ के ऊपर उसने कदम रखा. कदम रखने के बाद वो जो है योगा का पाथ बहुत इजी हो गया. सो doubt is acronym for first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So first chapter of Bhagavad Gita mainly speaks about what? The first chapter of Bhagavad Gita speaks about total DOUBT. That is 5 themes it speaks about. And so Arjuna gets a doubt. So D for Dhritarashtra. So in case you again you can go through D for Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan. That the discussion about Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan comes. That our generally spiritual journey starts with a doubt. So Arjuna also got a doubt. He also got a doubt that what is going to happen in the battle. And then there are signs of ominous results, signs of victory which are already shown. That how Pandavas, before even battle started, the victory signs were given. That Pandavas are going to be victorious. But still, there came some uncertainty. Why? Because Arjuna is going to get bewildered. So B for bewilderment, U for uncertainty, O for ominous results, and T for turning point. So this is the turning point where Arjuna is getting confused, Arjuna is getting frustrated, and Arjuna is turning towards a guru. That leads to a second chapter that is called as Gita. So where Krishna gives him the knowledge of Gita. G stands for Guru. That because Arjuna got confused now, and when he turned towards Krishna, Krishna starts picking him. Now Krishna was a friend before, and then he becomes his Guru. Then he becomes his Guru. That okay. So Prabhupada mentions there, anyone who is suffering, anyone who is suffering the miseries of the life, he has to turn towards Guru. And Guru, like all of you might have heard this terminology, right? Now, Guru takes away our karma. Like recently, initiations happened. So, Guru takes away our karma. Can you tell me how Guru takes away our karma? How Guru takes karma? बनाना ऑफर करने के बाद के सैक्रिफाइस में या ग्रेन्स डालने के बाद ऐसा कहा जाता है कि कर्मा चला जाता है पूरा। तो कैसे जाता है कर्मा, गुरु कर्मा कैसे लेता है? एनीवन नोस
By
हाउ?
taking the responsibility of.
ओके ओके, हाउ गुरु टेक्स कर्मा मेनली प्राइमरीली? Like suppose if somebody has some disease now, some of you have some fever, and if I tell you, Prabhu, if you come to me, I'll take away your fever. Now, how I can take away your fever, bro? Just by touching you, can I take away your fever? Yes, Prabhu.
During the disease.
By giving a medicine for it.
Yeah, by giving the medicine, by giving the suitable medicine, I can take away your fever. Right now, by doctor can take away your fever. Similarly, what Guru does is, Guru gives us the process by which all karmas are already destroyed. Karmas are destroyed only, all sinful reactions are destroyed. So this is the way he takes away your karma, and he takes responsibility also. So here, Guru gives him the knowledge of identity. He gives him the knowledge of identity of soul. So G for Guru, I for identity, then T. T for two kinds of duties are Arjuna gets confused. One is occupational duty and one is spiritual duty, constitutional duty. So two kinds of duties are being mentioned. And Atmaram. Then the last section, A section ends with Atmaram. Atmaram means what are the symptoms of a Sthita Pragya, how he eats, how he sleeps, how he walks, what are the symptoms of a perfect devotee. So second chapter of Gita is named as Contents of Gita Summarized. First chapter of Bhagavad Gita is known as Observing the Armies, Sanya Nirdeshan. And second chapter is also known as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna Vishada Yoga means Arjuna becomes confused and frustrated. So that is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Then comes the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where the example of tree is given. Analogy which is used is tree. Because Arjuna gets confused at the end of second chapter, that actually I'm not able to understand, is Tyaga better or is karma better? So T for Tyaga. What is definition of Tyaga? Then Krishna starts speaking him, just Krishna starts giving him the knowledge of rungs of yoga ladder. That what are the different levels of yoga? So if you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. And then even if you don't want to do karma, he says you have to set an example. Because whatever great people do in this world, common people follow. So you have to set an example. So E for example, T for Tyaga, R for rungs of yoga ladder, E for example, and the last section, Krishna Arjuna asks him that, oh Krishna, what is that forces me to do something wrong even without my desire? Even I don't want to act wrong way, still I am forced to act in a wrong way. What is that? What is that enemy of soul? So then Krishna speak mentions, yes, that is lust only, Arjun, which is the enemy of the soul. It is number one enemy of the soul. So this is the way third chapter goes on. Then Krishna naturally Arjuna will tell, okay, how to fight with this enemy of the soul? How to fight? Then Krishna says, yes, there is a way to fight with the enemy of the soul by getting knowledge. By taking the sword of the knowledge, by taking the weapon of the knowledge, you can cut this enemy of soul. You can kill this enemy of the soul, that is lust. So the fourth, and for that, the most important things are your ears. You have to hear with your ear. When you hear with your ear, then your lust enemy can be destroyed. So he says, what is ear? E means education is required. Because today we are educated in a wrong manner. That's why we are not seeing, we are seeing the world with a lust vision. We are not seeing the world with a love vision. And that's why eternal education is required. So E for education, eternal education. A. But what is when one gets education, then only one gets accurate understanding about life and the path of yoga. Then R for removing reactions. What are the benefits of this knowledge? When you get this knowledge, you get proper understanding about life. It will remove away all the reactions of your life. And then the description of sacrifice comes. That how sacrifice is very important to get the knowledge. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So sacrifice, pariprashna is required. So there is a difference between prashna and pariprashna. Prashna means only questions. But pariprashna means what? Mutual questions. Pariprashna means spiritual questions. It's a questions related to Paramatma. They are called as pariprashna. So this kinds of questions, spiritual inquiries are required. Now Arjuna again gets a doubt again in the fifth chapter. I'm little still confused. I'm very again confused. So Krishna starts speaking him about the step formula. That what is better again? Nishkam Karma Yoga better or sannyasi is better? Again, this question comes. Then Krishna mentions about step formula. That okay, you stay in the world, and then the knowledge of three kinds of doers are given. Then how to develop equal vision and Bhuktaram Yagyatapasam, that peace formula, that section comes. And the last chapter, sixth wala, is easy. Easy means, is mind enemy or friend? A for Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, the process of Ashtanga Yoga, the different stages of yoga. S means success and the failure in the path of yoga. And Y means who is the best of all the yogis. That is being mentioned in the sixth chapter. Now going ahead, I'm just giving you the quick recap now. So you can maybe note down now this chapter and the themes wise. So the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is named as Observing the Armies. So observing the armies means Sanya Nirdeshan. That is the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So here in the first chapter begins with Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. Dhritarashtra is inquiring to Sanjay and that Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport Dhritarashtra was blind by birth and he was spiritually blind also. So he separates. Separatist mentality was there. My sons and Pandava's son. Then Duryodhana is very fearful on seeing the army arrangement of Krishna on the Drishtadumna. So Drishtadumna, who was born from a fire sacrifice, and then he goes and does taunting to Dronacharya that आपके जो डिसाइपल है देखो उसने कैसा अरेंजमेंट किया है और बाद में शंख बजना चाहे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे शंखा बजते हैं सारे और वहां पे बताया जाता है कि कैसे साइंस ऑफ विक्ट्रीज बताए गए हैं साइंस ऑफ विक्ट्रीज कि शंख बजते ही ऑलरेडी समझ गया था कि किस प्रकार के कौन जीतने वाला है तो भगवान कृष्ण ने अपना शंख बजाया जिसका नाम था क्या नाम था भगवान कृष्ण के शंख का और अर्जुन के शंख का नाम
Panchajanya.
हाँ पांचजन्य पांचजन्य शंख जो है कृष्ण ने बजाया और अर्जुन ने बजाया देवदत्ता भीम ने बजाया वृको उदर तो इस प्रकार के अलग अलग शंख बजाए गए उसके बाद में
पौंड्रक
अर्जुन यस प्रभु
भीम ने पौंड्रक बनाया बजाया
हाँ पौंड्रक 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 वृकोदर मतलब वृकोदर भीम का नाम है उन्होंने पौंड्रक बजाया करेक्ट सो बाद में अर्जुन जो है वो आर्मीज को देखता है और अर्जुना डिप्लोमेटिकली दुर्योधन डिप्लोमेटिकली भीष्म पितामह से बात करता है और जब अपने सारे रिलेटिव्स को देखते हैं अर्जुन उसके बाद में वो थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन में जाते हैं क्यों जाते हैं क्योंकि उनको अटैचमेंट होती है बॉडी कंसेप्शन ऑफ लाइफ होता है सो अर्ज फ्रॉम वर्स नंबर 28 to 26 Arjuna gives reasons not to fight. So five reasons were given. Five reasons for not fighting. So verse number 28 to 30, compassion for the relatives. And second is no enjoyment. Third is fear of sinful reactions. Fourth is harmful effects of destroying the family tradition. And Arjuna again is indecision. So the five reasons were given for not fighting. So this is the first chapter, which is this is the way first chapter ends. And now entry comes into the second chapter. Yes, bro. Someone can quickly read second chapter. Chapter 2.
In the previous chapter, Sanjay concluded that Arjuna was not inclined to fight. That made Dhritarashtra joyful that Pandavas would be renouncing the kingdom. In this chapter, Sanjaya, seeing Dhritarashtra hopeful of not losing the kingdom for his sons, began to describe how Krishna inspires Arjuna to fight. This chapter is entitled as Contents of the Gita Summarized because it describes the subject matters of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and also a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga. These very topics are discussed in the entire Gita. In this chapter, Lord Krishna presents an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, Jnana or Sankhya, working with and without attachment to results, Sakam and Nishkam karmas, and the characteristics of a person fixed in the conception of the real self, Sthita Pragya.
Yeah, so this is a connection. So Dhritarashtra was very happy. Arey wah, Pandavas are not going to fight. But then Sanjay gives him understanding. अरे ऐसा मत सोचो, टर्निंग पॉइंट आया है क्योंकि अर्जुन जो है गुरु के पास गया है. सो द 5 रीजंस द फर्स्ट चैप्टर में बताए गए थे. सो दिस आर द 5 रीजंस. एंड इसके आंसर कहाँ पे दिए गए हैं कि अर्जुन को फाइट करने के 5 रीजंस कौन कौन से, और उसका सेकंड चैप्टर में आंसर किधर किधर आता है. So this is a small summary. Now, second chapter begins with Arjuna's indecision. Arjuna has an indecision in life. He's not able to make decision. Then he goes to Krishna and he accepts him as Guru. Shishyastem sadhi mam tom prapannam. And then Krishna first of all chastises him. He disapproves. अरे आपका जो कंपैशन है वो पूरा यूजलेस है. एंड ही सेड ऐसे बुद्धिमान लोग इस प्रकार की बातें नहीं करते. And then from verse number 11 to 30, Krishna gives him the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means what is body, what is soul, all the what are the different qualities of the soul. This all things were given in the second chapter. Anyone who has taken birth is sure to die. So he said, no need to lament just for a dying bodies. Then Krishna then mentions, that's why you have to perform your duties. And in case of performing duties, sometimes there will be difficulty. You just keep on doing your duties, you will get enjoyment. Because you said that you will not get enjoyment? No, just by doing your duty, you will get enjoyment. If you do your duties, it will open the doors of heaven. Any person who does his duty will get heavenly planets. But by not doing your duty, by not fighting, you will incur sins. And for which, so Krishna counteracts the argument of Arjuna of enjoyment. That how enjoyment is in doing the duty, not that by not doing the duty. Then the last section comes about Nishkama Karma Yoga. Krishna, he elevates him from Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma Yoga. That okay, there is the art of doing work. What is the art of doing work? You have to fight, but with not being attached to the results. Just do it as a matter of duty. And that is called as Nishkama Karma Yoga. And in the path of yoga, one requires a one-pointed Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Ekeha Kurunandana. So that all shlokas are coming in the 40th second chapter. And then the last section, second chapter comes. This is the biggest chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya means what are the qualities of a liberated soul? How he eats, how he sits, how he walks, how he smiles. And then there are internal meanings of all this we discussed. What are the internal meanings of all these activities? Then the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita starts with Karma Yoga. That this is a Karma Yoga. Yes, bro. Someone else can read. What is the connection of second chapter and third chapter? Please read.
In the
The
previous
previous
Yes, Satyanarayan, bro. Please read.
In the previous chapter, Krishna gave a prelude to the Bhagavad Gita, representing different topics such as Sankhya Yoga, Karma Kand, Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, and so on. But they were unsystematic. From this chapter, he gives a more organized outline of this path. In this chapter, Krishna describes Niskam Karma Yoga, or the great art of doing prescribed actions as an offering to the Supreme Lord Krishna without personal desire and thus avoiding the bondage in work. Krishna also describes the discrimination necessary for a person desiring to conquer over lust, material desire, and anger.
So third chapter goes a little more systematic. Second chapter give entire outline of different parts of yoga. Now third chapter mainly describes about Nishkama Karma Yoga. This is the art of doing activity which will not produce bondage. And what is the connection of the chapter 2? Again, please read.
In 2.49, Krishna told Arjuna to keep all abominable actions, avaram karma, far away by Buddhi Yoga. He meant to establish the superiority of Nishkam Karma Yoga over Karma Kand. There, however, Arjuna thought that fighting is an abominable action and that intelligence or Buddhi Yoga means to renounce it. But Krishna's urging him to fight seemed contradictory to Arjuna, so he asked Krishna about this.
Yeah, so second chapter, a lot of this also came. This karma kand wala things came. So he said, keep all abominable activities away by Buddhi Yoga. So this is the way second chapter and third chapter are connected. So this is a chart for this. Arjuna is confused. Third chapter begins whether renunciation is better or whether action is better. And then Krishna says renunciation is very difficult. But Nishkam Karma Yoga is very better for you, Arjuna. At your stage, Nishkam Karma Yoga is better. So slowly you go from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Then Karma Kand path is mentioned and how other sacrifices, cycle of Yagya is being mentioned. Annat bhavanti bhutani, parajanyadanya sambhava. And by doing yagyas, you will get necessary grains and everything. That part is being mentioned. And then last comes is, even if you are qualified Arjuna for higher paths of yoga, still you should do this Nishkam Karma Yoga. Why? Because you have to set a right example for this world. Because people are going to follow you. Even if you are ready to take sannyas, but you are a king, and if you set a wrong example, then world will follow you. So better you do Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Krishna is trying to tell him, convince him that do Nishkam Karma Yoga. And then the last section comes is Arjuna's inquiry that about lust. That lust is a very deadly enemy on the path of yoga, and how one should deal with lust by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Deliberate spiritual intelligence can help us to fight with lust. And then there enters. So Arjuna is confused, as I mentioned here, that which path is better. Nishkam Karma Yoga is better for Arjun than Jnana Yoga. So this is in short, the third chapter of entire Bhagavad Gita. This is the third chapter overview. Now, fourth chapter starts with a transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge, because Krishna told by deliberate spiritual intelligence, one can overcome the lust and one can overcome the bondage. So spiritual intelligence requires spiritual knowledge. So fourth chapter starts with spiritual knowledge. Yes, someone can read the fourth chapter.
In the previous chapter, Krishna described how lust causes mortal bondage and how one has to curb the lust by deliberate spiritual intelligence. In this chapter, Krishna presents transcendental knowledge by which one can be protected from the bondage of lust. Krishna describes how he personally gave this spiritual knowledge to great kings who are meant to impart it to the citizens by education, culture, and devotion, and thus help them utilize the opportunity of the human form of life. In the previous chapter, Krishna described Nishkam Karma Yoga, dutiful detached work, which is said to be the means to attain jnana. The goal of Nishkam Karma is Gyan. In this chapter, Krishna presents Gyan or transcendental knowledge and the glories of such a Gyan. He begins by describing the lineage in which that knowledge descends.
So all evam parampara praptam. So what is the power of knowledge? What all things happens by knowledge? How knowledge burns away? So Krishna begins with evam parampara praptam. How the knowledge was given to Krishna, sun god, Manu, Ikshvaku, but the chain got broken. Then Arjuna asks the question, Arey, how did you spoke this knowledge to sun god? You are like you and me are both are equals and friends. Then Krishna starts speaking about my birth is very special one. I can remember my past, but you cannot remember. And then Krishna mentions about how Krishna reciprocates with the Krishna is the creator and culmination of all paths. Ye yatha ma prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyaham. And then the description of demigod worshippers come. Those who are demigod worshippers, they worship Krishna and they get quick results. Then how Krishna created four varnas and ashramas, and how karmas are the law of karma is very difficult to understand. One cannot see karma, action in inaction, inaction in action, all those sections we went through. And then came the discussion about if you want to attain jnana, then you have to do some sacrifice. At least worship, do sacrifice. At least feed the poor animals, feed the cow, or feed poor people. Do some sacrifice. When you do sacrifice, then you get jnana. And this is the main purpose of Dravya Yagya, Kriya Yagya, Tapo Yagya, that one becomes free from sins and one develops Jnana. So Jnana wala part came. Jnana comes by sacrifice. And then the glories of Jnana. If someone gets the knowledge from a guru and attains Jnana, then what are the benefits of Jnana? That all things came in the fourth chapter. Now we jump into the fifth chapter. We step into the we step into the fifth chapter. Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Yes, bro, someone can read?
In the previous chapter, Krishna spoke of attaining peace by jnana 4.39 and renouncing karma by jnana in 4.41. But again, asked Arjuna to take up karma yoga in 4.42. Arjuna found it impossible to perform both renunciation of work, karma sannyasa, in knowledge, jnana, and working with detachment, karma yoga, simultaneously. In this chapter, Arjuna asks Krishna about the above contradiction, and Krishna explains how renunciation and work are not opposite but could be integrated. Krishna will explain the process of achieving liberation through karma yoga.
So he says, whether you do sannyas, whether you do karma, both are same only. Because the ultimate purpose of karma and sannyas both is same, that is pleasure of the Lord. So now Krishna is taking him to Arjuna is confused. Whether sannyas is better or karma is better. So he said both are same one. There is no difference. Karma is also same. Sannyas is also same. Why? The ultimate purpose of karma and sannyas is the same. What? That is pleasure of the Lord. So karma yoga is action in Krishna consciousness. So which is better? Renunciation of work or working with the detachment? Prabhupada, then Krishna says karma yoga is equal and better than sannyas, better than the dry renunciation. So renunciation and working in the spirit of renunciation are the same. So what is the difference between renunciation in Krishna consciousness and the dry renunciation? तो हमारे इस्कॉन में भी लोग संन्यास लेते हैं, बट इस्कॉन का जो संन्यास है, वैष्णव का जो संन्यास है, वो सारे एक्टिविटीज को छोड़ने के लिए नहीं बना है, वो ज़्यादा सेवा करने के लिए बना है, ज़्यादा मतलब गेटिंग फुल एंगेजमेंट इन कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस, दिस इज द पर्पज ऑफ संन्यास. नॉट दैट कि सब कुछ काम छोड़ के मस्त प्रसाद खाओ, महाप्रसाद खाओ, सब कुछ छोड़ दो. दैट इज नॉट द पर्पज ऑफ संन्यास. संन्यास मीन्स मोर अमाउंट ऑफ सर्विस टू कृष्ण. So then Krishna mentions performing Nishkam Karma Yoga frees one from bondage. Then all the three kinds of doers are given. That doers क्या होते हैं, and how one can attain liberation by focusing on the supreme. तो आपको ये चैप्टर थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट पड़ा होगा. फिफ्थ चैप्टर एक बार क्या कहते हैं कि कैसा लिंक जाता है, क्या जाता है. तो ये चार्ट है, थोड़ा आप वापस एक बार रीडिंग करेंगे तो आपको आ जाएगा फिफ्थ चैप्टर भी. सो एंड लास्ट में कृष्ण बोलते हैं व्हाट इज द पीस फॉर्मूला. पीस फॉर्मूला मीन्स भोक्ताराम यज्ञ तपसाम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम. दिस इज द पीस फॉर्मूला. एंड yeah, Akshay Kateprabhu, yes, read the now sixth chapter. So Dhyan Yogi.
In the previous chapter, Krishna described how to attain liberation by Nishkam Karma Yoga and also by Ashtanga Yoga briefly in 5.27 and 28. In this chapter, Krishna describes Ashtanga Yoga in greater details as a means to control the mind and the senses. Before practicing the advanced stages of Ashtanga Yoga, one must be purified by the practice of Nishkam Karma Yoga. However, Ashtanga Yoga is very difficult for people in general to perform, especially in this age of Kali. Thus, before teaching Ashtanga Yoga, the culmination of Karma Yoga, Krishna first praises Nishkam Karma Yoga in 6.1 and 2 because of its practicality.
सो आप देखो प्रभुपाद जो है, प्रभुपाद कृष्णा निष्काम कर्मयोग को भी सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. क्यों? इसमें एक्टिविटी है, एक्टिविटी है, एक्टिविटी करना ज़्यादा आसान है. तो निष्काम कर्मयोग और भक्ति योग में ज़्यादा डिफरेंस दिखाई नहीं पड़ेगा आपको. ऐसा कि इसलिए आप देखो बार बार कृष्ण कहते हैं निष्काम कर्मयोग चलेगा भाई, वो उसमें मत जा, वो ज्ञान में मत जा, वो अष्टांग में मत जा. क्यों मत जा? अल्दो अष्टांग योग ऊपर है, ज्ञान योग ऊपर है, लेकिन वो नहीं जमेगा, वो छोड़ दो, वो प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है, तुम अननेसेसरी ब्रह्मन में फंस जाओगे. क्योंकि निष्काम कर्मयोग जो है वो एक्टिविटी छोड़ता नहीं है. क्योंकि कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में भी एक्टिविटी चाहिए. एक्टिविटी मतलब भगवान को प्रसन्न करने के लिए अलग अलग सेवाओं में जुड़ना है. सोचो कोई योगी आपके वॉइस में आ गया और दिन भर परमात्मा पे मेडिटेट करते रहता है और ये करते रहता है, जब अच्छा करेगा वो, लेकिन कभी सेवा ही नहीं करेगा वो. तो बिकम्स लिटिल डिफिकल्ट ना. कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस उसको डिफिकल्ट पड़ जाएगा कुछ समय के बाद. सो दैट्स व्हाई सिक्स चैप्टर स्टार्ट्स विद एडवांसिंग इन अष्टांग योगा. Aruruksha stage to Aruda stage. So yoga and sannyas are the same. Two levels of Ashtanga yoga. The discussion on the mind, is mind friend or enemy, and how to control the mind. Mind control is the most important. Then what are the practices of Ashtanga yogi? How he sits in the secluded place. Then he meditates on the कुंभक को रेचक में मिलाता है, रेचक को कुंभक में मिलाता है. ऐसा करके क्या होता है? माइंड कंट्रोल होता है. लेकिन अर्जुन बोलता है कि माइंड कंट्रोल इम्पॉसिबल लग रहा है, क्योंकि क्या क्या कितना कठिन मेथड तुमने बताया, कुंभक रेचक रेचक कुंभक, ब्रीदिंग करो ब्रीद आउट करो, इतना तो मुझे पॉसिबल नहीं है. तो जब अर्जुन के लिए इम्पॉसिबल है तो हमारे लिए तो पॉसिबल होना ही पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. और तब सिचुएशन कितने अच्छे थे उसके, अर्जुन वॉज द मोस्ट पावरफुल लीडर. हम लोग क्या, हमारा हेल्थ भी खराब, माइंड भी खराब, सब खराब. देन कृष्ण सॉल्यूशन देते हैं. बाय सुटेबल प्रैक्टिस एंड डिटैचमेंट वन कैन ओवरकम, वन कैन कंट्रोल द माइंड. माइंड कंट्रोल इज अ मस्ट. And what is the destination of a unsuccessful yogi? Even the unsuccessful yogi, उसको इतना बड़ा लाभ मिलता है. And then what will be the output for a successful yogi? And bhakti yogi is the topmost of all yogis. So thus ends our 6 chapters of our Bhakti Shastri course. And so I'm very grateful to each and every one of you for giving me this opportunity. It was last 5 months were the really amazing time, and I'll miss you after some time now. I'm now, but you have sufficiently tolerated me for last 5 months. So now you have one good news is now many good teachers are going to come. So the tolerance का फल अच्छा होता है, सब्र का फल अच्छा होता है. तो now many nice teachers are going to come. Murali Mukund Prabhu, Sakshishit Prabhu, Amshu Prabhu, Antardeep Prabhu, many other teachers may come. So you will are fortunate that you have successfully tolerated me for 5 months and overcome the tough part of the chapter of Gita. Now next 6 chapters are going to be easy because they are Bhakti Yoga. Devotees को भक्ति योगा अच्छा लगता है थोड़ा. अभी तक कर्म कांड था, कर्म योग था, ज्ञान था. आगे जाके लास्ट के 6 चैप्टर में मजा आएगा, फिर से ज्ञान आएगा, मस्त एकदम ज्ञान योग. So thank you very much for tolerating me and being with this. So this Bhakti Shastri is a very beautiful course. Anyone who renders this understands Bhakti Shastri course well, he can now become very firm in the path of Bhakti Yoga. So thank you very much. Very grateful to you and very grateful to Tejas Prabhu also for nicely coordinating and managing this entire allocating. Although उनका इतना difficult होता है कि एक डिवोटी को पढ़ने को बोलो, वो डिवोटी absent रहता है उस दिन, जिसको अलॉट किया उसको श्लोका दो, ये दो, absent रहता है. So I hope that I wish you all the best for your upcoming examinations in Bhakti Shastri. एंड डोंट, आपने अगर वो बुक पढ़ा है तो उसमें चीटिंग बहुत सारे पॉलिसीज है प्रभु एग्जाम के. चीटिंग करने के क्या पॉलिसीज है, नॉन चीटिंग के क्या पॉलिसी है, तो वो एकदम सीरियसली देखना उसको और मिस्टेक मत करना. और एक है भक्ति शास्त्री, हम कॉम्पिटिटिव स्पिरिट से नहीं देने वाले, एग्जाम में पास होने के लिए या टॉपर बनने के लिए नहीं दे रहे, अपने भक्ति को बढ़ाने के लिए दे रहे. तो एग्जाम का पर्पज है अच्छे से समझना और अच्छे से लिखना. ये पर्पज समझ गया तो ठीक है, नहीं तो एकदम कॉम्पिटिटिव मेंटालिटी से देंगे तो डिफिकल्ट पड़ेगा. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच. हरे कृष्णा. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः वत्स पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हो.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We are also very grateful to Prabhuji. Miss Prabhuji also has to give up his morning program there. He's coming for us every day. He has to study all these things before telling us. So we are very grateful to Prabhuji, and we'll thanks Prabhuji by one time loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Rama.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Now you have 1 month is a good period. नहीं तो रोज रोज वेनसडे थर्सडे आते बोर होता है, हर बार देखना पड़ता है, सुनना पड़ता है. नाउ यू हैव गुड टाइम, एटलीस्ट 1 month गिव एग्जामिनेशन एंड पीसफुल टाइम. ऑनलाइन बहुत बोर होता है ना सुनना. डेली लाइव क्लासेस अच्छे लगते हैं, लेकिन ऑनलाइन बहुत बोर होता है. लेकिन आप लोगों ने सक्सेसफुल किया. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Prabhuji.